AYO, what is up, Betterberg fam? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep, really deep, into the darkness, into the shadows, into the stuff that makes you want to sleep with the lights on for a week straight. We are counting down the top 10 scariest, most thrilling, most heart-pounding horror games that you can get your hands on right now. I'm talking about games that will have you screaming, jumping out of your chair, and maybe, just maybe, breaking an ankle or two. So go ahead and lock your doors, check under your bed, and get ready for a wild ride. This ain't just for one type of gamer. We're covering all the bases today. Whether you're rocking the Xbox, dominating on PC, chilling with your PlayStation, getting your scares on the go with your mobile device, or fully immersing yourself in the terror with VR, I got something for you. We're talking cross-platform nightmares, console exclusives that are worth the price of admission, and indie gems that will haunt your dreams. This list is packed, so you better be ready. I've played these, I've screamed at these, and now I'm bringing the terror directly to you. Before we jump into the madness, I gotta know what gets your heart racing. What's that one game that lives in your head rent-free? What's the horror game that you think is the absolute GOAT? Drop it down in the comments below. Let me know your favorite horror game of all time. I'll be reading through them, so don't be shy. Alright, enough talk. Are you ready? Let's get into this. Samurai, slice that like button. Let's go. Alright, kicking off our list at number 10, we have a game that took the world by storm. We're talking about Resident Evil Village. Y'all already know. From the moment you step into that creepy, snow-covered village, you know things are about to get real. This game is the perfect blend of action and pure, unfiltered horror. One minute you're blasting werewolves, the next you're creeping through a castle trying to avoid the 9-foot-tall vampire lady that the entire internet thirsted over. Don't even get me started on the Beneviento house. Nah, we ain't even gonna talk about that. That part right there, that's a different level of psychological terror. The beauty of Village is how it keeps you on your toes. It's a masterclass in atmosphere, with sound design that will have you hearing things in your own house. The tension is just perfect. You feel genuinely hunted, genuinely vulnerable, even when you're armed to the teeth. And the best part? You can experience this nightmare across pretty much every platform. PlayStation, Xbox, PC. They even got a version for the iPhone 15 Pro, which is just wild to me. If you want a blockbuster horror experience with incredible visuals and unforgettable scares, Resident Evil Village is an absolute must-play. It's a whole horror theme park in one game. Coming in at number 9, we've got the king of asymmetrical horror, Dead by Daylight. Look, if you like playing with your friends and you also like screaming at your friends, this is the game for you. The concept is simple, but oh so terrifying. 4 survivors, 1 killer. The survivors gotta work together to repair generators and escape, while the killer's job is to hunt them down and sacrifice them to some spooky entity in the sky. It's pure, chaotic, heart-pounding fun. There's nothing like the panic of hearing that heartbeat get louder and louder, knowing the killer is closing in. What makes this game a legend is the sheer variety, and the fact that it's always evolving. They're constantly adding new survivors, new maps, and most importantly, new killers. You can play as classic horror icons like Michael Myers, Ghostface, or Freddy Krueger, or you can master one of their own terrifying original creations. And with full cross-platform play, you can team up or face off against your friends no matter if they're on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. Every single match is a different story, a different horror movie where you're the star. Just try not to be the first one to get put on a hook. You know what I'm saying? Alright, at number 8, we have the game that probably single-handedly funded the ankle-breaking industry. We're talking about Outlast. Let me be clear, in this game, you are not a hero. You are not a soldier. You are a journalist with a camera, and that is it. You have no weapons, you can't fight back. Your only options are to run, hide, and pray they don't find you. This game throws you into a terrifying asylum filled with inmates who are, let's just say, they're not looking to be your friend. The first-person perspective makes it feel like you are the one trapped in there. The entire experience is viewed through the lens of your camcorder, and its night vision mode is your only source of light in the pitch-black darkness. But here's the catch, using it drains the battery. So you're constantly in this state of panic, trying to find batteries while also trying not to get your spine ripped out by some giant dude named Chris Walker. The atmosphere in Outlast is suffocating. The sound design is engineered to make you jump out of your skin at every single creak and whisper. If you want a game that is pure, helpless terror, Outlast is the one. It will break you. sliding into the number 7 spot is a game that, honestly, changed the co-op horror scene forever. Get your crew together, we're going ghost hunting in Phasmophobia. This isn't your typical horror game where you're just running from a monster. Nah, in this game, you and up to 3 friends are paranormal investigators. Your job is to go into haunted locations, use all sorts of ghost hunting equipment like EMF readers and spirit boxes, and figure out what type of ghost is haunting the place. It's kinda like being in your own episode of Ghost Adventures. Except the ghosts can, and absolutely will, end you. The genius of Phasmophobia is how it uses sound and teamwork. You have to talk to the ghosts using your actual microphone, and hearing a ghost whisper back to you through the spirit box is a level of creepy I was not prepared for. And when the ghost decides to hunt, all bets are off. The lights flicker, the doors lock, and you hear its footsteps coming for you. It's pure chaos and terror, especially if you're playing in VR. Putting on that headset and physically walking through these haunted houses is an experience you will never forget. It's terrifying, it's hilarious, and it's honestly one of the best co-op experiences out there. At number 6, we gotta pay respect to a legend, an indie game that exploded and created an entire universe. You already know what it is. Five Nights at Freddy's. This game is the definition of simple but effective. You're a night security guard at a creepy pizza place, and your job is to survive from midnight to 6 a.m. The catch? The animatronic mascots wander around at night, and if they find you, well, let's just say you're not getting a severance package. All you have are security cameras, 2 doors, and a very limited power supply. It's a terrifying resource management game. The tension in FNAF is almost unbearable. You're constantly flipping through cameras, checking the door lights, listening for footsteps, all while watching that power meter tick down, down, down. You know the jump scare is coming, you just don't know when or from where. And when Freddy, Bonnie, or Chica finally pop up on your screen with that blood-curdling screech, it gets you every single time. It's a cultural phenomenon for a reason, and it's available on everything from PC and consoles to your phone, so you can get scared literally anywhere. It's the king of jump scares for a reason. Coming in at number 5 is a game that will scare you, yes, but it will also break your heart. We're talking about Telltale's The Walking Dead. This isn't about mowing down hordes of walkers with an arsenal of weapons. This is a story about people. It's about survival, about making impossible choices and living with the consequences. You play as Lee Everett, a man with a troubled past who finds himself protecting a young girl named Clementine in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Every decision you make, every line of dialogue you choose, shapes your story and your relationships with other survivors. The horror here isn't just from the zombies, or walkers as they call them. The true horror comes from the living. It comes from the brutal choices you're forced to make. Who do you save when you can only save one? Who do you trust? Who do you feed when resources are scarce? The game presents you with these gut-wrenching dilemmas and then forces you to watch the outcome of your choices play out. It's an emotional roller coaster that will stick with you long after you finish playing. It proves that the most terrifying monsters are sometimes human, and that horror can be deeply, deeply emotional. Blee. Alright, for our number 4 spot, we are blasting off into space, but this is no vacation. Welcome to Alien Isolation. This game, right here, is the sequel to the original Alien movie that we all deserved. It perfectly captures the look, feel, and overwhelming dread of that classic film. You play as Amanda Ripley, Ellen Ripley's daughter, searching for answers about your mom's disappearance aboard a derelict space station. The only problem? A single perfect organism is hunting you, the Xenomorph, and it is relentless. This isn't like other games where you fight hordes of aliens. Here there's just one, but that one is smarter, faster, and more terrifying than anything you've ever faced. The AI in this game is legendary. The alien is not scripted. It actively hunts you using its senses. It learns from your behavior. If you hide in lockers too often, it'll start checking them. It's a constant, terrifying game of cat and mouse where you are very much the mouse. Your only tools are your wits, a motion tracker whose beeping will become the soundtrack to your nightmares, and whatever you can scavenge to create distractions. Every step you take is filled with suspense. You're not the hunter, you are the prey. Alien Isolation is a masterclass in survival horror and pure, unadulterated tension. Cracking our top 3 is a PlayStation exclusive that plays out like your very own slasher film. Get ready for a deadly winter getaway in Until Dawn. This game puts you in control of 8 friends who are trapped on a remote mountain 1 year after a tragic accident. And of course, they soon realize they're not alone. A masked killer is on the loose, and it's up to you to guide these characters through the night and try to keep them alive. The game is absolutely gorgeous, with stunning graphics and performances from a cast of familiar actors, making it feel like a high-budget Hollywood movie. The core of Until Dawn is the butterfly effect system. Every single choice you make, no matter how small, can have massive, unforeseen consequences later on. A missed QuickTime event, a dialogue choice, deciding to go left instead of right. It can all lead to a character's gruesome demise. This makes every moment incredibly tense, and the game has insane replayability as you try to see all the different outcomes and save everyone. Or, get them all killed. It's a cinematic horror masterpiece that puts the power of life and death directly in your hands. At number 2, if you loved the cinematic style of Until Dawn, then you're going to love this. We've got its spiritual successor, the Dark Pictures Anthology. This isn't just one game, it's a series of standalone, bite-sized horror stories, each with its own unique setting, characters, and terrifying mystery. You've got Ghost Ships in Man of Medan, Witch Trials in Little Hope, Underground Monsters in House of Ashes, and a serial killer's playground in The Devil in Me. Each game is like a new horror movie that you get to control, and they are perfect for a spooky game night. What makes this anthology so great, especially for this list, is its focus on multiplayer. You can play solo, of course, but the real fun is in the movie night mode, where you and up to 4 friends each pick a character and pass the controller around. Or you can play the 2-player online co-op, where you and a friend experience the story from different perspectives, sometimes seeing things your partner doesn't. It's an incredible way to share the scares and see how your different choices clash and combine. It takes the choice-based horror of Until Dawn and makes it a brilliant shared experience. And here we are, the number 1 spot, the game that I believe is a true masterpiece of psychological horror. We're talking about Layers of Fear. This game is not about jump scares, though it has a few. It's not about running from a monster. This game is about descending into madness. You play as a painter, returning to his Victorian mansion to finish his magnum opus. But as you explore the house, searching for the items you need to complete your work, reality itself begins to warp and twist around you. A door you just walked through might disappear. A hallway might stretch on into infinity. The very architecture of the house is your enemy. This game messes with your head like no other. It's a slow burn, a deeply unsettling journey into the mind of a disturbed artist, uncovering a tragic story piece by piece. The visuals are stunning and surreal, constantly changing to keep you disoriented and on edge. You never feel safe because you can't even trust your own eyes. It's a walking simulator in the best way possible, where the horror comes from the atmosphere, the story, and the deep psychological dread it instills in you. It's available on basically everything, and if you want a horror experience that is truly artful and will stick with you forever, Layers of Fear is my number 1 pick. And that, Peterberg fam, is the list. 10 horror games that are absolutely guaranteed to give you nightmares. From the action-packed halls of Resident Evil Village to the mind-bending corridors of Layers of Fear, there is something on this list for every type of horror fan. I'm telling you, these games are no joke. So if you're feeling brave, if you're looking for that adrenaline rush, I dare you to pick one of these games, turn off the lights, put on some headphones, and dive in. Just, maybe have a spare pair of pants nearby. Don't say I didn't warn you. Seriously though, these developers poured their hearts and souls into crafting these terrifying experiences, so go show them some love. And if you enjoyed this countdown and want to see more top 10 lists, more gameplay, and more of your boy getting scared out of his mind, then you know what to do. Samurai, slice that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a single upload. We're on the road to 1 million subscribers, and I can't get there without every single one of you. Let's make it happen. Thank you all so much for watching, for liking, for commenting, for being the best community on YouTube. I appreciate you more than you know. That's all for today. Go play some spooky games, try not to break any ankles, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out, and have a spooky, spooky gaming session.